Hello and welcome to the Unofficial Controller Podcast, your weekly gaming podcast. Episode 46, The Best Gaming Antagonists. With me, George, and as always joined by Tom, Dutch Vanderlyn, to my broken banjo string. How's it going?
That's very good. I like that one. I'm very well. How are you?
I'm very good.
Excellent. Now, I'm excited this week. We've got some good news coming up.
I poured some Pro Plus on your alphabetti spaghetti.
You did.
So you're fired up.
The eggs are on slow boil. I'm pumped for the show.
Turn them down a little bit more, because you don't want them to peak until we've peaked. Listen, the wave of new listeners, for some reason we've picked up another wave. We'll give them a rundown of how the show works out. Top of the show, Tom, bit of news. What's in the news this week?
We've got some PS4 exclusive game news.
Ooh.
So, guesses for what that is.
Okay. And then the feature this week, Best Gaming Antagonists.
Yeah. A little
So
bit of
a
bit of a companion piece for our episode we did a few shows back, which was Best Gaming Protagonists.
I like it.
Yeah.
Light versus dark.
Absolutely.
Yin versus yang. And then after
Cheech versus Chong.
Oh, God. And then after that, we roll into the reason most people turn up. It's the listeners' pickups that we call Listeners Stingray. Triple, double readouts, all a go-go this week. And then the big man himself appears with his young son, Wayne Ray. They reverse up to the bunker doors, the nuclear bunker that we live in. And we have a look at the best gaming picks for this week. Then I finish the show by asking you what you're hoping to play. And just odders, grip that wheel for a little bit longer, son. Just a little bit longer. Because Tom, turn on the Hoover, grab some pledge, and Duster's mumsy wants some housekeeping done.
She does.
Time to announce a winner. And this month's the prize for the best comment is the immortal Mr. Mystery.
Congratulations.
That's for your GameCube golf glove comment, which tickled Tom so much he's been rolling around on the floor with laughter ever since.
I think I like that because that's definitely something me and you would have done back in the day.
Definitely is. But we'd have only had one glove and we'd like to have passed it with the controller.
Yeah.
Thank you for contributing. And don't forget, it doesn't have to be on official controller base, but there's many Batmans. There's only so many Batmans that we can take. But
He's the greatest, though, isn't he?
I implore you to pick up a superhero piece of artwork or something along those lines. Time to browse Comic Pictures 79 in Insta or Comic Pictures No Space on Etsy. Pick your prize, Mr. Mystery. Well done. Congratulations. So the board is wiped clean. Mr. Mystery is the current unofficial controller podcast reigning champion.
He is.
As is.
What we would just really like you to do, if you could, Mr. Mystery, when you choose your print or T-shirt or whatever he chooses.
Whatever tickles his fancy.
We'd love you to... We know you've got an Instagram account, obviously, because that's how you commented. Please, just a little post in your story or on your feed, just with what you pick, and just let other people know that they can win prizes too on the show. That'd be great. Thank you very much.
Now, odders. I think that's all the housekeeping done, Tom.
It is, yeah.
Put the Hoover away.
Hoover's away.
Put the duster and pledge away. Odders, relax that grip on the wheel just a little bit. Now hold it again, because, Tom, what you been playing?
This week, been playing some Mad Max. I reached out to our loyal followers.
Yes.
Listeners.
No mention of me.
Well, yeah, I was getting to you. You
Okay.
recommended this as well, as did a few others from the Unglorious Bar Stewards VIP chat.
Yeah.
And what a great game. Brilliant intro. Very much like chucks you into that Mad Max world of the chase and sort of surviving on the road. The gameplay is very good. The driving mechanics. The fighting's very much like Arkham and Spider-Man, sort of quite punchy combo reversal. The gun is a bit strange. It feels like it's more there for like a last chance survival shot because you only get a few shells.
When you chain the combo together, you can press shoot and it does like a gut. It says gut shot up on the screen.
Oh wow!
Poof, real close.
Nice. What it included in like the melee combat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to try that. Give that a try. I don't know how I feel about the character Chum Bucket being on the back of the car. I want the car to just be the car like it is in the films. Obviously, you get the different You get
You're
to part
going to
in
like Chum Bucket.
He's quite likeable. I just think it'd have been better back at the garage all the time.
He's quite animate. If you look at the back of the car, when you swerve around, he sort of swings around in the back of the car.
Oh,
as well.
yeah. No, it's...
Always at the white hot edge of gaming, Tom. We're talking about a game from 3 years ago. Which is a record for you. So you're a retro gamer.
of probably two years ago.
Yeah.
That's old enough for me.
If it's older than last weekend, you don't want to know about it. So I'm very proud.
Thank you.
You're probably looking now open-handed for the £7.50 back from me, as promised. I'll add it
for the audio podcast. I'm rubbing my fingers together, pointing at him, asking for the more money. Really good. I am happy I picked that up. I'm going to play some more tonight, hopefully, after finish recording and sort of progress. I'm probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours in. It's quite fun just driving around and getting the upgrades, like always wanting to improve the vehicle. What chassis did you pick for the car?
The one that looked most like
the one from the film.
Yeah.
Oh, me and you are the same.
Shuffle face.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, because I was weighing up what to get with the pennies I'd accumulated, I was like, well, I can't afford
the many thousands that you've scandalously lifted out of this show's budget and Lord Ponsonbury's pockets.
I know, he's a generous man.
He's a very generous
me.
man. To you, yes.
Yeah, I think I managed to pick up Star Wars Battlefront 2 as well. Yeah, that was.
Have you had another pay rise?
I have. Yeah.
Is there less food in the cupboard for me
There
now?
is. Yeah. Slim pickings again.
After the backlog of shame, we live in separate parts of the bunker.
Yeah, and I tell you what a great online game that is. Supremacy mode.
Have you not played the story?
No, I'm not. I didn't really buy it for the story.
I thought you'd be all over that.
No, I just want to be like playing as all the hero characters and everything. But the actual stormtroopers or the rebel soldiers are actually really fun. So that you've got different classes. So you have heavy, specialist, which is like sniper, assault, the usual for sort of online shooters. Third person works better on this rather than first person, I must admit. And the you know the planet where Order 66 is issued, and it's like got like those weird mushroom plants, and it's all quite illuminous.
Yeah.
The first match I played online was on that planet, and we were playing as the clones. And yeah, it's just really good fun. It feels like you're in a proper big battle, like the proper Clone Wars. So yeah.
Did you have the first Battlefront?
I did, yeah. The new one, and obviously I had the old ones on the PlayStation.
Yeah, I'm
2.
talking about these new rebooted.
Yeah, I had the first one. It was good. It just felt very bare bones. There's a lot more here. I think for the money I paid for it as well, which was about £14 in the sale, really worth getting. Even if you just want to. It's a nice, really easy, accessible shooter as well. I didn't do amazing. I didn't do bad. I just felt like I was actually part of.
One of my complaints when I picked up the first one was that I was just in a life death routine, and it was disappointing for that reason. You felt like you're constantly chunking to the front line to get killed, to come all the way back again.
True. I think now the way they've done how you unlock. So as you earn more points, you're basically earning money in the match, and then you can choose to use more like a specialist unit, like the Republic Commandos. You can play as one of them, or you can play as a jetpack trooper, and then the next step up from that is like a hero character or a vehicle on certain maps. I think that's a really good way of doing it, because everyone gets to have a go at doing that, no matter if you're doing terrible or good. And
does that mean there can be like 3 Lukes on the level?
No, because this is a slightly annoying thing. You have to probably wait just to click at the right time. The specialist units, you can have loads of them, but the hero characters, there is only one at a time, which is better because it makes it a little bit more realistic. You ain't got like you say 2 Lukes just running around like crazy, and loads of like Vaders there as well. So I think that works really well. It's just you got to get lucky if you get one of the hero characters. You can have all the money for it, but you just have to be there at the right time to click and spawn as one of those.
What else have you been playing in this bountiful week of a menagerie of games for you?
It's mainly been those two, because I picked them up. Oh, tell you what I did play last weekend is Neo 2.
The demo?
Yeah, the trial weekend. Really enjoyed that. It's great.
Have you played the first one?
I tried it. I didn't get on with it,
Oof,
but
it's
I
a
played.
hard game.
Yeah, it is. I think I got it when I got my PS4 originally. I got it in the sale, very cheap, and I just never really gelled with me. But this sequel feels so much better. The fact that you have these demon spirits and you can turn into like a bit of it's a bit like
Brave
like
Star.
Brave
Visionaries.
Star. It's a samurai game of sorts, but it's also very like high in Japanese fantasy or Japanese, I don't know what you call it. Mythology. That's the word I was looking for.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, I enjoyed that. It almost made me think, do I get that instead of Doom Eternal? But I don't know. Doom's looking real good.
And you played the Final Fantasy VII demo?
I did, yeah.
I haven't.
Knock
I
it.
haven't. I'm
Now,
a very naughty boy.
this, I really enjoyed the combat. I thought it played quite well. I'm just concerned whether read a few things about, is this story going to work in this modern day? The interviews I've read with the developers have said like they really want to make it a great experience for people who are new to it, so those who haven't played it before. So that's someone like me.
Yeah.
I just hope it is worth it. As far as playability goes, it's great fun. The combat, even though it's almost part turn based, but you are punching the buttons to do the attacks and
A bit
so
like
forth.
Ni no Kuni 1.
I haven't played that one, so I can't comment.
I think it's probably slightly more actiony in this demo from what I've seen.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's very much like Final Fantasy 15. So if you've played that, you'll know what to expect. The characters are quite sort of likable, but obviously they're that ingrained in video game culture, like Cloud Strife. I know who he is. Never played the game, but I know who he was if I saw a picture.
Yeah.
He's that sort of iconic character. So yeah, I enjoyed that. I recommend giving it a whirl if you're thinking of getting the full game, just to make sure it's your cup of tea. But yeah, for me that's about it. Better ask you what you've been playing. Do I need to pull up a chair?
No, you don't. I never mentioned that I finished Resistance Fallen Man.
Nice.
I meant to say that last week, but
Yeah.
I just thought I'd give them a little
It's
update.
Not a particularly long game anyway, is it?
I don't think I've mentioned this. It wasn't overly long, and it didn't outstay its welcome, and it was not a tough game right until the last couple of levels, and when it really ramped it up. But there were story reasons for that. You're closer to the hive mind or the queen minds, and do you know what? It was fun. I need to pull 2 down, but I've been that engrossed with Mad Max. As you say, play the game, live the game. I
got all the movies out.
I
Watched
got
them
all
in
the
order.
movies out, and I
Which is your favourite of Savage?
I was thinking this the other day when I was watching them. Like, growing up, it was 2. Like, 1 was okay, but it didn't have any of the stuff in that I liked, the lore. But Mad Max 2's got the lore in it, where it's more as a drifter, and he's right on the edge, and everyone's wearing the weird outlandish clothes.
Like,
and
1 is very much just... It's closer to, like, a normal world, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So I like 1, but I think in retrospect it's hard to say now, because I've seen 2 so many times, I've kind of worn the wheels off of it.
Yeah, good point.
But 3's again even heavier in the lore of the Mad Max universe, and it's probably a little too heavy. I do like the whole thing with the kids. Not Fagin Ray style, but obviously, to see what these almost lost boys have brought themselves up on this mythos of what was before. And then I watched Fury Road. Again, it's got a lot of Mad Max lore in there, like a lot of the things that go on in it. And
the bit, the best bit in that. Mediocre, of course, as well as that. But
review for the show.
They're being
stars.
chased like in the tanker, and they've got the girls in the back, and Max and Furiosa are in the cab together, and then those motorbike dudes come along, and they're just like holding it off, and it's panning round the lorry, and the way they're fighting them off together using the different various guns they've got.
Yeah.
And then they firebomb the lorry, and then she's just like, because she knows that truck like it's her own, and I think she's a great character. I mean, we talk about like the feminist characters being rammed down our throats nowadays, but she's just a really good character. Man or woman, she's a really good character.
Yeah.
And she slams down that the hydraulic lever, and it puts the bulldozer blade down. It puts the engine out. It's just like the V8 engine or whatever it is.
Oh,
opens
yeah,
up.
the truck catches on fire, doesn't it?
The intercooler opens up. It's like so good.
Okay, well, I watched
enough of that. Anyway, that's
This
just
is
me
not a
getting
film
excited.
podcast.
It's not. I know.
Calm down, Barry Norman.
I know.
So anyway, back to I've been playing Mad Max, obviously, play the game of the game, and I'm quite far on, and I've decided to do as many side missions as I can to get my character OP'd up, and I got a little bit bored of that, so I totally de-threated one whole area.
Yeah,
I was giving myself a big slap on the back, and thought I'd get back to the main story. And I don't know whether I've been too long in the side missions, which aren't that deep, where I've kind of like I've done over 20 hours on the game.
What?
And
You're well ahead of me.
Well, this is what I'm saying. I don't know as necessarily as I am, but I'm obviously quite far into the game.
Yeah.
But it's almost at this point where I've done all these side missions, it's starting to become a little bit of a chore.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm just gonna probably stick main story.
I
And
think you might struggle if you do that. You're gonna have to do
to have the
some
upgrades
to get max upgraded.
Yeah.
I think the car is by the by, but to get max upgraded to the level you need him to be at, you've got to grind through some of these side missions. And I still like the game, but the other night I put it on, it was like,
I think it's game of its time in the fact of that, go here, do this side quest to upgrade this.
A little bit. I mean, it's
think
very Ubisoft in that regard.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'd love to see next gen for that gameplay loop to be broken a bit and to bring in something different, but I don't even know how you could do that.
I'm hoping this weekend I can get back to it, really smash that main storyline. And it's not an overly long game, I don't think.
No, that's what I mean. I'm quite surprised
I've dragged it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a point where I was maybe sort of 2 or 3 days ago, I was right in the happy place. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
And then, I've done a few missions recently. I was like, oh God, I should have done this sooner.
Yeah.
He's ground on. But other than that, I haven't played any other games.
Oh.
Well, as you can tell, I've dedicated quite a lot of time
to Mad Max. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's us done.
Yeah.
It's time. They're listening for the soundbite time. It's time for the news to scour the very darkest regions of the internet to bring you the latest stories. First up,
Stealth Samurai. PlayStation 4 exclusive Ghost of Tsushima now has a confirmed release date. The confirmation comes ninja-like from nowhere. Ghost of Tsushima will slice its way onto PS4 on the 26th of June 2020. This game is looking incredible. We're excited, and the game also bagged itself a new story trailer, so please go check that out on whatever video platform you can. The trailer is also available in Japanese if you want to go full immersion from Sony Japan. It's on YouTube.
I've played that game. I think you got the option to play it full Japanese with subtitles.
Yeah, part of me thinks the subtitles take you out of
I'm fluent Japanese now, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay, right.
Yeah. Squeezed it in for another show.
Right, we'll have to do a few lessons, and then I can maybe take part in that as well. I am so excited for that game.
Yeah, I think we talked about it off air before the show started.
We did, yeah.
I'm excited for it. It looks great. It looks very much in my wheelhouse. My only trepidation is I think it'll review well. I think it looks incredible.
Yeah.
But I wonder if the fan goodwill can stretch to another third-person exclusive action game.
Yeah.
It looked a very Horizon in the graphical fidelity of the world. It looks like there's going to be a lot of going from A to B.
I don't.
I want to like it, but I'm a little bit nervous that they might have stomped the mud hole dry.
I don't think there's ever been a proper samurai game to this realism level. Sorry, just bashed the mic there. To this level, you've obviously had Sekiro, Nioh. Trying to think of a few others.
You've
Tenchu.
obviously never played Way of the Samurai on PlayStation, have you?
No. But to this caliber as well, it looks like a proper old-fashioned samurai film. It's based on real history.
Ish.
Well, yeah, thereabouts. It doesn't look like there's not going to be any supernatural elements, other than the fact that he probably switches a bit more to like ninjutsu and the more stealthy ways of dealing with enemies. I like the idea of the fact that in the story, this is not spoilers, it's in the story trailer, his father's speaking to him about that's not the samurai way, to be sort of stabbing people in the back and coming out of the dark, and you should confront your enemies head on, but he's sort of like, well, that's not how we can fight this enemy, they're too dangerous, etc. I think there's going to be some great story elements to that, and really looking forward to playing that in June, a lot sooner than I thought we'd be. I thought that'd be end of summer, so that's a welcome surprise. PS is killing it, really. We've got Neo 2, Final Fantasy Remake, Last of Us 2, and then Ghosts. So, strong months ahead for the PS4.
Time to maybe invest in a Sony console.
Ori and the Will of the Wisp, really wishing I still had the Xbox for that one. Looking great.
I don't know, I find some of these platform games to be...
This is probably one of the best platformers out there, though. If I'm going off the first one, and the new one looks incredible.
Get some petty cash off Ponsonbury's side chest.
Okay.
Go and get yourself an Xbox before next episode. Discless one, make it out. Okay, next bit of news. The best skins comes to those who wait. Tank skins. This feature was promised to the Battlefield community some 457 days ago. Developer DICE is taking all in its stride as Battlefield's community manager posted a picture of precisely how long the feature took to be released. 457 days, 6 hours, 33 minutes and 29 seconds. It's all part of Battlefield 5's big new 6.2 update, which has now arrived, so go check the patch notes, but it includes a number of updates and improvements for the weapon balance, as well as the aforementioned tank skins. That's good of them, Tom, to get the note of the grindstone and finally give them the skins that they were promised over a year and a bit ago.
Yeah, it's a bit of a delay on that one, isn't it?
Is anyone still playing that?
I don't know. It's bizarre sometimes how online games, they do keep a following for such a long time. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there still playing some of the older COD titles. But
Call of Duty 3?
Yeah.
I think someone's still playing that online. Is it still supported online?
I don't know. I think some of the servers get shut down, don't they? Sadly, Battle for Middle-earth 2 servers got shut down.
Rest in peace.
Rest in pieces.
That janky mess. Next bit of news, Tom?
Yeah, I'll take this one. Or do you want to take this one, seeing as it's...
No, you
Oh,
take
no.
it. You take it.
I see. If you haven't found Land D by now, you better hurry. Games come and go. That's the nature of Xbox Games Pass. The games you have access to on there are not yours forever. And the popular Games on Demand service will witness 3 high-profile departures in the next 2 weeks. These are Deus Ex Mankind, Divided, and Shenmue 1 and 2 will be leaving Game Pass on Xbox One. This news comes via a recent update on the Microsoft Store, and since these are fairly big games, you'll need to set some time aside if you want to dig into them.
A little bit of a heads up to any Xbox gamers out there who haven't delved deep into those titles. I suppose 3 men exit, 3 men enter, as they say.
Yeah.
Keeping it on theme for Mad Max.
Oh, yeah.
You got some bonus news or something?
We've got a little bit of bonus news.
Bonus news. What is it? Better be worth it.
Well, I just thought I'd let... because we do tend to cover the consoles a bit more than PC. So any PC listeners tuning in, if you don't already know, Death Stranding is coming to the PC.
Surely they knew this.
I don't know. I don't know where they did. Apparently it's going to have some sort of obviously few little different features. I'd be very curious to see how good it looks as well on a very high-end PC. I think that'll look pretty awesome because it's a very visually impressive game anyway. But yeah, just to let you fans know, or PC gamers know, that it's going to be out this summer. I believe it's June 2nd.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. So keep your eyes out for that one.
A little exclusive makes its way onto PC. How do you feel about that?
Oh yeah, that's something we should probably quickly discuss with those. Is because Horizon Zero Dawn's rumoured to be coming to PC as well, isn't
It's
it?
been leaked, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the developers are going to... I think we've talked about this with some of the listeners, is the fact that the developer will want it to be on as many platforms as they can, because it will sell more, and then that creates more revenue, and they can make sequels and be successful.
Do you think PC gamers are going to be into a game like that?
Yeah, I think there's quite a few people.
Nick
that want
Tiles
to
will
play
Park Truck Simulator 4000 for an
He'll
afternoon.
love that. Loading up the parcels and dispatching them. Postman Simulator.
Maybe a
Lorry
bigger
driver
market out there for it than I thought. Is that it, Tom? Did we miss anything? Do you have an opinion or take on the news we missed, listeners? If so, Tom, how do the collected masses interact with us and tell us that we missed the stealth drop? Oh, rewind. I meant to say, Avalanche Studios, if you're listening, okay, what I really, really want, Zigga Ziggar, is I want you to take the premise of Mad Max and I want you to make me a Waterworld game.
Oh my god.
That is... Waterworld's a good film, Tom.
You ever seen that skit of The Simpsons where Bart and Milhouse go into the arcade and they put coins in to play Waterworld? And obviously it's a bit of an in-joke about how much Waterworld took to cost to make. And
Yeah.
they walk like 2 steps with Kevin Costner's character and it's like, insert more coins.
This is what the people that don't know, you see. It's shame.
It's not a bad film.
I want
But it's definitely
that
not Mad Max,
open
is it?
world water.
Yeah.
Little areas where obviously cities are underneath, where you can dive down as him and get loot,
Yeah, okay.
aka
I like the idea.
mementos and soil, because that's the currency in Waterworld.
It is,
Then
yeah.
you can come up, go to different atolls, bond with the atolls. Your catamaran gets taken from you at the start, so then you have to build this new thing with like Chum Bucket or whatever he's going to be called. PG podcast. We can't say what Tom called him off air, but you can guess, older listeners. And I think that would be an amazing game.
Yeah. It's a good setting for a video game.
So anyway,
definitely.
I digress. Is that off, that phone of yours?
It
Very
is, mate.
naughty
Yeah,
of
yeah.
you. Anyway, so how would the listeners interact and let me know that we could pop down Tesco's this afternoon and buy ourselves Waterworld the game?
Well, please let us know. Direct messages on Instagram, as a lot of you do, or comment on the posts for that week. Also on Twitter, direct message, and also on email. You can reach us at questions@unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com.
Now, before we get into the feature, Tom.
Well, I've just had the village newsletter through the post box of the bunker.
Oh my goodness gracious me!
Yeah,
And
the
what's it?
village link.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Of course,
They're
I
just
should know.
letting
I
it-
live in this
yeah,
village.
Yeah. But you never read it. You just tend to use it to light the fire.
Well, that's all there
There's
for,
a lot
isn't
of work. Well, yeah, a lot of work goes into these, you know.
Maureen the Methodist.
Yeah, she gets on it.
Yeah, she writes it. Did
So
you
for
know
any,
that? I
does
know
she?
she got us through our divorce when we had that spat on the backlog of shame.
Yeah,
She was the one who put us through some counselling to get us back together in the same room to actually keep making this show for those loyal listeners and new listeners alike who want to ravel through the back catalogue. She writes the village link.
that's good of her.
Yeah, she's a good person.
She is.
She doesn't drink booze, but she writes a good bit of news.
For any of the new listeners, our podcast is from the fictional village of Farmerton.
Don't break the fourth wall, George. Don't break the fourth wall.
Well, we need to be honest.
We
with
live
new
in
listeners.
Farmerton.
We live in Farmerton, and we live in the bunker, and that's where we record the podcast from. And every so often, we just let people know what's going in Farmerton.
We
village,
live in an
what's going
abandoned
on.
nuclear bunker with our mum.
We do, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the sort of the money maker. You, the worker.
You're the money maker. I'm the rattle shaker.
That's it. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay.
So we just got the Village Gazette magazine through, and just a bit of news from Farmerton.
What you got there? I'm
Well,
all ears
sadly,
for this.
the village has been in full lockdown this week, but Sting and Wayne Ray, they've been pitching coronavirus protection. They've
Just
got
read
themselves.
what's on the newsletter.
They've got World War II gas masks,
Yeah.
hand sanitizer, and
Oh.
some very poorly put together hazmat suits, which basically look like Ponsonbury's estate farm manager's crop spraying suit sprayed yellow. So
Well,
probably best avoid those, as they're not really going to protect you very
what with
well.
Herr Crowther not protecting the estate after the Christmas special where he got mercilessly killed off? Did he die?
No,
in
he
that?
didn't. He's still alive.
Oh, of course.
He's
he
still
pushes-
alive.
Well, he's that busy pushing the paralysed Lord Ponsonbury round in his chair. He's not able to patrol the farm anymore. So does that mean that Wayne and Sting probably went and pilfered them?
I think so.
I'll tell you who
Yeah,
they
yeah.
would have hired. You know who they hired to do that, don't you? Who did they hire, Tom, to do that? Who's the village Naderwell that will take something even if it's nailed down?
Fagin Ray.
Fagin Ray.
Very good.
Yes. They must have got him on it.
PCSO Ross Kemp has also told villagers that the Inglorious Bar Stewards are heading back to the nearby airfield to prep planes for potential evac in case the virus should get as close as Market Town. Highway Patrolman Bobby said as well, if you come into contact with the virus, that you should stop, drop and pray. Reverend Reeves should be on hand for help with those correct prayer techniques. Level 13 of the bunker, though, will only be used as a field hospital for paying casualties. We don't let them in for free. So please contact me for bank transfers or cash at the door.
Always trying to make money out of people's like bad luck and everything, aren't you?
There's bit of sports news from the village. The Unglorious Bar Stewards football team played Barcelona reserves.
Wow. They're high up in the league, aren't they?
They are, yeah. It ended 23-2 to the Bar Stewards. Unbelievable.
Wow.
Hat trick scored by Dubai Jim.
Well
goal
done,
mach-
Dubai Jim.
Yeah, goal machine. One last
By the
thing.
way, in some extra news, in the other episode I said, Dubai Jim, didn't he own a video shop? He got in touch. Yes, he did.
Did he?
I know everything
No end
about
to
the
his
loyal
talents.
fans. You just arrive in a limo, get out with your smoking jacket on, sit down, take the money and walk
Of
off,
course.
while claiming that all the bar stewards are just horrible. All the listeners are, they're just there to pay my wages, that's all right. And I'm like trying to keep in contact with them all, make them feel loved, and you just abuse their goodwill.
I do.
What's the last bit of this Farmerton news?
Just closing out, one last thing. The fundraising car boot held on Sunday for the Christmas market place disaster relief fund was a great success.
That was a tragedy. If you didn't
It
want to
was,
know
yeah.
what went on there, you probably need to go listen to the Christmas special.
Enough of that nonsense anyway. We better move on.
Hang
It's-
on though, I've got a beg.
Have you? We better do some begging then.
A little bit of a fact here, right?
Okay.
Pop quiz, hot shot. Right, there you go, for the film buffs. Which, like when you go to, this is something I learnt today. You alright? You want me to turn the heating up?
Well, no, because...
Someone walk over your grave?
Yeah, I think so.
Fagin Ray.
Yeah.
Or was
In
it
the
Reverend
future.
Reeves?
Reverend Reeves, yeah, in the future.
More law, get your pen out, Adam the artist. He
Reverend Reeves is like 1,000, though. 1,000 years old. How is he going to outlive me in the future? Maybe another Christmas plane crash.
Exactly. I get another host on.
Oh, no. Okay, sorry, carry on.
Which when you go to like a like B&Q or something, and you get a tool like a drill or whatever,
Yes.
and you could take out an extended warranty on the drill.
Okay.
Listeners are like, where's this going? Okay.
Bear with us.
So, which do you think sells the most warranties? The self-checkout till or the people-manned till?
People want, obviously.
No. Because the people-manned till forget to ask sometimes, but the machine asks every time. It sells 37% more warranties than the actual manned tills. Now, you're going to think, where on
Where is
earth?
this? I'm wondering where this is.
Where are you going with this? Well, let me tell you. We probably don't ask enough. So I'm asking the listeners, new and old, loyal and fresh, to make sure, I'm asking them right now, to make sure they do everything they can to tell everyone they know about this show. We often joke about it, Tom, but it's serious now. How much does this podcast cost the listeners?
Absolutely nothing.
And I think that's a great price.
It's a great price.
And this show will always be free of charge.
Okay.
But
You still pay me, though.
you will always get paid.
Excellent.
You will
That's all I
always
care
get
about.
paid. But
Wonderful.
the one thing we're going to ask you to do is, you know someone who plays video games that doesn't listen to this show. Tell them. That's all we ask. That's not even that much to ask. So spread the word of the show. Do what you can to get people listening to the Unofficial Controller podcast. It's a heartfelt plea. That's it.
Very
I'll
good.
wipe my nose, put my tissue away. No Fagan Ray this week. Just a little bit of a heartfelt plea. I went there with a bit of a random story. Everyone was wondering where it was going to go. But do you
I
know
was
what?
on board. I was listening.
You came for the journey. So I can ditch the village link because you've already read it out to me with your thespian method acting voice. It doesn't get any better than that. And we move on to the feature, the Best Gaming Antagonists feature, because we like to make a mouthful of that. So here we are, the sequel to the episode, the Best Gaming Protagonists. The bad guys get a turn. You know, they're normally here for our, by then, OP protagonist to wail on with his huge fists and be suitably be a suitable foil to all our heroic goodness. Forget all no ones who fall into the category of, oh yeah, that end of game boss dude thingy. Well, sometimes they're so beautiful in the execution that they stand out as being something real special, and not just moustache twirlers, guys with more depth and believability than the hero we play as, to the point we often bizarrely end up rooting for them and want the bad guys to win.
It's true.
Very true. Tom.
We've got a listener comment first.
Well, we always want the listeners to... We always put a post up on the old Instagram, don't we? And
Yeah,
we
so...
say, because this is not our show, it's their show, and we ask the listeners to contribute so we can incorporate, we can weave
My
that.
show as well.
It's your show.
Yeah.
No one else. Contractually, it's your show. Contractually, your name is above mine on the posters, all artwork.
Always.
You're hailed as the senior billing. My name is always lower than yours.
Smaller case as well.
Smaller case, different font. Yours is a bolder, more masculine font. Normally emblazoned in bold, front and centre. Probably 3 or 4 times. The new listeners are like, okay, we get it. Tom's the main dude here. You once actually worked on a game, Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. You designed Liao Kang's face mask texture.
I did.
Those who want to find out your real last name need to go and play that game to the end. Don't go in the options and just press credits. That's cheating. You got to walk through that really boring section, play that whole boring bit, finish the game in every element, and then you can see his name, and they can stalk you. The main man of the show.
I am.
Is that enough props?
That'll do. That'll do for
I'm
this
a
week.
little concerned that by doing all these props, I've maybe got more words in the show because contractually you're meant to have more speaking time than me.
Yeah. I'll take the first listener comment and I think we'll be okay.
I did ramble on there. I'm still talking.
It's okay.
Well done.
It's okay. The lawyer's just a phone call away.
Who is the lawyer in the village?
Lionel.
Just checking. Pop quiz.
I know. I know my law. I know my village law. The Barbaroo Games. He's first up for the comment this week. I've always had a soft spot for Prosector Godot from Ace Attorney. I hope I got that right.
Prosecutor.
Oh, mate, I haven't got that one wrong. Prosector.
Pro.
That's as bad as
Sector.
Funko Pops.
Oh, who could this? Let's get a new character. He's Prosector. A ghost-like figure. Almost like...
He's a bit of a prospector as well. Like
No. I think he's like... In the village,
Optimus
there's
Prime.
a ghost story about
Okay.
There was an old lawman. You know, like Ghost Rider. He's made entirely of
You
flame.
told me at the start of the show, not too much law. This is law heavy.
Okay. Who cares?
Okay.
New listeners, get on board or not on board. I don't really mind right now.
Okay.
Prosecutor. What did you call him?
Godot.
No, the
Godot.
first one that you got wrong.
Prosector.
Prosector. The Prosector. Prosector. He drives he rides a flaming horse, and sometimes Herr Crowther, when he's doing a night watch looking for pheasants and poachers,
Yeah.
normally Fagin or Sting,
They've got to feed the family.
he sees the Prosector riding his horse the lawman of the medieval times
Okay.
of the village. Yeah.
Well, Prosecutor Godot from Ace Attorney, Trial and Tribulation. He's technically more of an anti-hero than a straight-up antagonist throughout the game. He's trying to figure out why this guy absolutely had it out for you, though, out of the story, even though he seemingly came out of nowhere in the grand scheme of things. Leading up to the eventual reveal at the end, honestly, really made me feel pretty sympathetic for that character.
Ace Attorney. You've been a big Ninty fan. I thought you'd be all over that like a rash.
No, I've never played him. Interesting though. I think sometimes the villains you do end up feeling sorry for them or seeing their perspective on things.
Ace Attorney, it's a law thing, you know.
Yeah.
L-A-W, not L-O-R.
Speaking of men of the law,
yes,
it's our first pick for Antagonist. Edgar Ross from the Red Dead Redemption series. This man first came to our screens in 2010's Red Dead Redemption and features in the prequel Red Dead Redemption 2. Edgar Ross is a member of the Pinkerton Detective Agency, later goes on to be director of the early version of the FBI and the Bureau of Investigation, the BOI. He believes himself above the law, he enforces and represents everything wrong with a corrupt lawman determined to destroy the ways of the Old West and bring the outlaws to justice. Some would argue really he's just doing his job, and it's not until the tragic end of Red Dead Redemption when Ross, along with many other agents, come to finally destroy John Marston, a character we've just spent 40 to 50 hours with, is brutally gunned down at his home. Well,
for a 9-year-old game.
The worst thing before this happens, though, John Marston is offered freedom and his family back, who are being held captive by Edgar Ross. The stipulation: he has to round up the remains of his old gang. Having done this, it's not quite enough for Edgar Ross, who sadly wants Marston gone for good. I think that's a brutal, thing to do. He goes through all those things that you play. Obviously, you're playing as John Marston. You do all those things for him. It's almost like, nah, I want you gone and out of the way. And that way of life in the West is completely eradicated. Edgar Ross, he goes on to retire, and sort of we kind of think, oh, well, that's the end. And then it pans out from John's grave, and you are playing as Jack Marston, his son. So you mosey on down the river and put a few rounds into old Edgar Ross. And I feel that's a fitting end for him. It's because in Red Dead, you will always answer for your crimes. You can never outrun the past. There's so many of the characters...
Have you done ad-libbing?
Yes.
Crikey. You always make me nervous when you go off script.
Yeah.
Script, as you call it.
Yeah, I think... Script. Yeah, I think in Red Dead series, it always does catch up with the characters of... If they've done a bad thing, it's going to come back to haunt them. Because he is a character who... I was thinking maybe Dutch or Micah from the latest one, or Agent Milton, the sort of FBI agent in that version. But he's, I don't know, Ross is pretty dirty. He just, like, kidnapping Marston's family is like, you wouldn't get that happen now, and he's meant to be a member of the law. But he's no more better than some of the people he's chasing, is he, really?
Yeah, I quite like that bit, where I know it was a bit bolted on and the world didn't really change that much, but when you grow up as Jack and then...
Yeah, it did make it feel a little bit bigger than it was, didn't it?
Yeah, you'd go and extract... And that was new for that type of game,
Yeah.
It could have ended there.
Yeah.
It could have easily ended there, but that sort of... Is it an epilogue when you play it after, or a prologue? Epilogue afterwards.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a nice little touch. Up next.
You better take this one.
Yes. The naughty boy, the PlayStation punk. Shout out for his birthday. Happy birthday. And he says, would you kindly consider my answer? I have a good one. Jack from Bioshock. Now we might argue he is a protagonist, but spoiler warning, the end makes you wonder. Would he have done what he did without the influence of those words? Saving or not saving the little sisters makes you question your morals. If my last answer is not valid, my other favourite is definitely GLaDOS or Wheatley at the end of Portal 2. Nice submission there from the PlayStation punk. He's off going to celebrate his birthday. I don't quite know how punks celebrate birthdays. Probably going to download a veil, desecrate the village cross in some way, pop some party
Johnny
poppers
Rotten,
over
eat
it.
your heart out.
Johnny Rotten, eat your heart out. Next up,
Retro Collector Ray. He says, very brief, listen, if anybody says anything other than Revolver Ocelot, they're wrong.
winking with the tongue hanging out emoji times 3. They want the emojis read out, Tom.
Yeah, okay, I'll remember. Well, a lot of the Metal Gear villains are really good. Psycho Mantis, I think he's an honourable mention for us. More for his like gameplay elements of like reading the memory card and sort of the breaking of the fourth wall.
You don't like
game.
that. You don't like that. You don't like the fourth wall being broken.
I don't know. Not on the show. Well,
Who's
another
next?
pick of ours.
Oh,
This one's a bit of a weird choice. I'm going for the Moon from Legend of
oh,
Zelda.
trust me, he gets more out there.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm pleased I've not read ahead. The Moon from Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. When you first emerge in Clocktown and the 3-day countdown begins, you look up at the distant moon. Everything seems safe and secure in this quiet little town in the land of Termina. That is until the next day when the moon is a little closer and you slowly realise things aren't as they seem. The moon is not a well-written antagonist nor a final boss, but it represents the true constant fear of impending doom, casting shadow over the world in which you are playing. Its Joker-like grin and evil intense eyes, almost pleased with the destruction it's about to cause. Very menacing sight, isn't it?
Very much.
A little fact about that, though, is I never even saw this on my playthrough. When you defeat Majora's Mask in the end of the game, the moon's gone. It's actually left behind a rainbow. I never realised that. Little fact there.
Very
little
realistic.
Easter egg. Well, yeah.
Is there any rain that it can fire its rays off to cause this rainbow, or am I just reading way too much into
No, I
this?
think you're reading too much into that.
It's a shame.
Yeah. I just remember looking up at it and thinking, oh, that's not great if that's absolutely going to destroy this this world that you're playing as Link in. Yeah.
Well, up next, a loyal member of the Inglorious Bar Stewards, and Adam the Artist has been very busy this week getting caught up and getting loads of drawings out there of some of the loyalist fans who have served us for the longest, doing all the good things like sharing posts all over the place, left, right and Chelsea. And as we said at the start of the show, you need to go out there, not the start of the show, start the feature. You need to go out there and ask people to listen to the show.
You
Just
do.
take a little bit of time out of your day to make sure your favourite podcast is getting the penetration it deserves. Oh yeah. Anyway, Finster Gamer, he says you can see my top 10 villains over at Downright Square. Laughing till he cries emoji. Gratuitous. That's his little site that he's got going on. And
It's
fantastic.
awesome.
Yes.
It's great.
Very high production values. And Finster Gamer is an auteur and a half. He says, gratuitous plug aside, my top 5 are Sephiroth, Haiichi Mishami, Giovanni from Pokemon, Frank Fontaine, and the number 1 spot goes to Albert Wesker. Such an arrogant, insert expletive here, with his cool guy shades and slick back hair. Plus, you know, he's a proper bad guy because he always wears black.
Yeah, he's a good villain, he is.
Another listener that would agree with that, and he's also been immortalised this week as the Puppet Master, Harvey Retro. He agrees with Finster Game. He says, being a fan of cheesy action movies, one of my favourite bad guys is Albert Wesker from Resident Evil. He's incredibly cliche, which is what I like about him. He can never pretend to be a good guy in real life. He can't utter one word without sounding suspicious. He's brilliant. In terms of serious ones, though, in contrast with the same franchise, the family of Resident Evil 7 are incredibly scary. I'm a big fan of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 1974 version, he says, and it was like being trapped in that movie with those guys. But the best bad guy for me is Pyramid Head, who freaked me out so much when I was younger I was convinced I could hear his great knife screeched along the floor in the dead of night sometimes. Keep up the good work. Looking forward to hearing the show.
Cheers, Harvey Retro.
Retrospectively now, you were looking forward to it, but as you hear this, you're now hearing this, which is very strange. I like to imagine it put a wry smile. Maybe that raised eyebrow that he's so famous for in Stingray's boot. What do you reckon?
Second only to The Rock, isn't he?
I think Harvey Retro could probably copyright that.
I think so.
Get some money back off Dwayne.
Yeah.
Big Dwayne. Who's next?
The Chronicles of a Gamer.
What's he got to say?
In my opinion, the greatest villain is Vass from Far Cry 3. I thought he was a phenomenal character all round and very well written. He's stuck with me even after all these years of finishing the game. I also like James Earl Cash from Manhunt because he is definitely an evil person, but you also need to escape your situation. It's basically a game of who is the lesser evil, James or the director.
Oh, such a clever idea, that game.
I've never played either of those, but I've always heard people talk about Far Cry 3's villain as being really well written and well portrayed in that. So, yeah.
Far Cry 3.
Good choices.
Also out in the Wii, we found out the other week, which is hilarious, to say the least. Up next, it's one of our ones, isn't it? So, Officer Tenpenny from GTA San Andreas, voiced by the immortal Sam Jackson, a.k.a. Mace Windu.
a.k.a.
I think if your fame as it is now is quite high, and George Lucas was like, "Do you want to be in Star Wars?" You're like, "Only if I can pick my lightsaber colour."
Definitely.
What colour would your lightsaber be?
It'd be like a whitey silver colour.
Oh right.
Yeah.
What colour would mine be? Paragon Plus, it'd be blue, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, sidetracked as ever. Right from the get-go, he's in CJ, the hero of GTA San Andreas' face, hijacking him straight off the plane and immediately frames you in possession of drug money, then dumps you right in the middle of hostile gang territory, interjecting during the story in a way that leads you deep into Tenpenny's corrupt world. After a gang fight with the Ballers ends with Sweet being shot, Tenpenny arrests CJ and takes him into the mountains. From that point on, he orders him to murder anyone who would try to expose him, or he'll have Sweet be put in a Baller's cell block. As the game unfolds, a riot starts in Los Santos, surely a homage to LA's riots in the 90s. In the finale, CJ tricks Tenpenny by shouting "Sweet," a move that means CJ dodges a shotgun blast. This end, it's like something out of a horror movie. Tenpenny even tries to blow up CJ, but still CJ lives on, almost comedically in retrospect. This then evolves to a shootout where Tenpenny escapes in a fire truck with you in chase, guns are blazing, which ends in a crash from a bridge, which Tenpenny crawls from mortally wounded. But still, in a great turn by Sam Jackson, he deplores his actions and said he would do it all over again. And you don't even deliver the killing blow, deciding on letting him bleed out.
Brutal.
Yes.
No more than he deserves, though. He was a rotten one. Well-written character.
Very much. And possibly, and I'm going out on a limb here, because I know there was 51st State, and he was great in that, or not, depending on I'm being ironic.
Yeah.
Is Officer Tenpenny Sam Jackson's best work?
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's up there. I think the character he plays in Django is pretty good. I think his name's Stephen in that.
He just plays himself dressed as a cowboy. For me, this is the only film where he doesn't quite just play himself. His next best work is Pulp Fiction, but again, every work I see him in, even in Star Wars, is almost a parody of himself.
Pretty good in 187.
I've not seen that.
Yeah, it's quite good in that. He's like a school teacher in downtown LA, I think it is. Probably channeling his Officer Tenpenny roots. I think Officer Tenpenny is better than any of the GTA 5 villains by a long way.
He's got a real love to from the minute you bump into him or he bumps into you, he's got your back up, hasn't he? Like, and the way he speaks to you, he's very well written.
Yeah.
It's a great script.
Very good script. Well, we've got
Well, he's a long-time listener, but he's a first-time commenter. But he's listening right now.
Say new commenter then.
No.
Okay.
He's listening right now for this. New listener. We ought to maybe save my hands and get that as a soundbite, but
yeah,
we're not
looking pretty
Ponsonbury
rough.
I don't know what it was you said you were going to buy, Xbox and a load of other stuff as you left today, so I think I'll just keep clapping. I'll put my hands through the made for manual labour hands that I've got.
Johan Artwork.
Thought you were going to call him John or Joanne.
Joanne. Johan Artwork. Pretty much the whole Foxhound crew from the original Metal Gear.
From the original.
From the typo there, I'm sorry. From the original Metal Gear Solid. Each one was very quirky, over the top and mad, yet you have all the heart, personality, and full of melodramatic cheese. Especially Liquid Snake is the perfect B-movie villain, and I adored it. Yeah, I think that's, thinking back, it's we meet Revolver Ocelot in that game, I think, as well, and yeah, they're all very like 90s action movie villains, and the big guy, I think Vulcan is it, with the minigun, and he has a tank. I can't remember the name of the sniper, but I remember that being pretty cool. But like I say, Sniper Wolf, I think it is.
Yeah, I think
possibly.
it is. I'm going to put money on that.
I just think, yeah, it reminds me a little bit of like definitely an Arnie 90s film where you've got these outlandish villains.
Yeah, but they're even more outlandish than that, I find. Like Psycho, you wouldn't see Psycho Mantis in any film.
Yeah, another one, yeah.
And Revolver Ocelot, you would catch him. I mean, there's people that look like him, but the way he acts, the way he speaks,
yeah,
all the villains in that game are just ramped up craziness, and he loves it. I do. It's great.
We've got Comic Picture 79 next with a very brief comment but poignant. Arkham Joker, especially in Arkham Knight, best Joker portrayal ever. Enough said. That
song and dance routine that he does, that's my favourite bit in all of those games.
I think so. He's awesome in all of those. I do think Knight is his best, even though, spoilers, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's still very much the forefront of the villain in that game. From Beyond the Grave. Really well done, that. And voiced by the excellent Mark Hamill as well.
Yeah,
great voice work in that.
He owns that role. Up next, you've been talking a lot, so I'm going to look like I'm going to talk for a little while. Patch is an official. Welcome back, boys. I was going to say Bowser, they say, but he's never succeeded in 35 years. Shepard in COD Modern Warfare 2 was a bit of a bar steward, but who you couldn't wait to kill. Also Sin from Final Fantasy X, a giant whale that just randomly blows up cities. That's inspired. Hugh. Nice. My next pick, coming clean out of left field, but the in-game camera in any game that predates dual analog sticks. Yeah, the camera is one of the all-time most devastating bad guys. That truly was out to get you. Still in its 3D infancy, every game handled it differently, and all of them had it in for you from the get-go. Getting stuck on scenery, not looking at the action, where you're the protagonist is knee-deep in bad guys, causing us to stop mid-platform to readjust so we can actually see. Surely, this was the ultimate villain in all pre-2000 games. Be it LNR or even the face buttons, and then another button, this villainous Naderwell was at the heart of many, many deaths, and one that is universal across all games and franchises.
Yeah, I think every single one of us has played a game that's had a terrible camera and rued the day we ever turned it on. Absolutely.
Talking of bad guys that everyone loves to love, who's up next?
We've got Retro Gamer Thomas.
PCSO Kemp.
Cell.
Decouple the face mask. Let's hear his words.
My favourite would have to be Lance Vance from GTA Vice City. I love that classic gangster storyline of partners working together and then greed taking over, which ends up with that fantastic conclusion to the game. I have so many great memories of playing that game with my housemates till the early hours of the morning. One of my all-time favourite games and definitely my favourite antagonist. Sorry if there were any spoilers to anyone who hasn't played it yet.
Well, this whole section has been full of spoilers, but
yeah,
it's the bad guy one, so obviously spoilers all over the place.
Absolutely.
My next pick, Constantine Braco from Alpha Protocol 2010, voiced brilliantly by Matthew Yang King. To quote him, Tom, imagine I'm doing a Russian accent because I probably can't do it justice. You want to see my hands? They're right here on my funkin' guns. See what I did there?
I did.
In my opinion, though, it's broken and janky as all hell. Alpha Protocol is one amazing game. One day, I'd like to do a whole feature dedicated to Obsidian's spy thriller game, but I doubt Tom will let me. I've tried, but it's probably too left field. Though there is a whole feature on the production and development of this game waiting to be told. Cutting-edge documentary stuff, Tom. You know, not this very wafer thin, best bad guys, worst bad guys. Anyway, Constantine Braco, the whole boss fight is just what you want if you love cheesy action. This is your guy. From the moment he arrives on stage via a lift in his mansion's own discotheque, wearing a purple suit with Turn Up the Radio by Autograph playing through the speakers, he's the guy you love to hate. It may be the controls and the jank that elevate that difficulty here, but oh my, what a rip-roaring fun level this is. Inspired after the fall of the Berlin Wall by Americanism, hence his need to play turn up the radio as he tries to dispatch you, this guy didn't get anywhere near enough screen time and has lived in my memory ever since finishing the game. And to quote the great man himself, "It's end credits then. Let's go." That's what he says as you dispatch him. How cool is that?
That's pretty cool.
Who's taking us to the bridge?
Taking us to the bridge this week, it's Dougie McBain, the creator of the McBain Australia.
One of our winners of the best comment.
He has, yeah.
And that's when he immortalised the McBain Australia.
It is.
Who did he slap it on in the village? Some poor person, Wayne Ray.
I saw a great meme the other day. It had this the picture of Jericho doing the Wars of Jericho. It's like, if you never put your brother in the Wars of Jericho, are you even related?
Wow,
I loved it. Just reminded me of growing up.
That's why I've got lower back issues.
Doogie says, since I'm such a man-child, I'm going to go for the Great Mighty Pooh from Conker's Bad Fur Day on the N64. As a young teen, when the game came out, I find that character hilarious. An opera-singing turd with sweet corn for teeth, and you could defeat him by throwing toilet roll into his mouth before flushing him. Can't beat a bit of toilet humour.
Brilliant pick.
Yeah.
A nice light one to end on. Seeing
Absolutely.
as we've Alpha Protocol is coming. I think maybe for the year special, we're not going to do any self-indulgent.
You can't do that.
We'll do a really hard documentary episode. No news.
Hard hitting.
No.
You can record this on your own.
No Farmerton. None of it. We'll just go straight in with some not even not even our music. Right, we're not going to start with that. I'll start with Panorama, and then I'll go into a deconstruction of Alpha Protocol. Are you on for that?
No.
Okay.
Well, save that for one of the one-man shows when I have to take a 2-week break to the
Hiatus.
Bahamas.
Mumsy.
The Bahamas.
Mumsy flies out to the Bahamas with you. She lays you on a sun lounger, and she basically pours pipettes of honey and lemon onto your larynx, and then she just gently massages your throat there, just to make sure your sound over voice is absolutely spot on. And the listeners will know that you once said it was sound over, not voiceover, and long may that live in infamy. I must make sure my sound over voice is perfect for when I do the Christmas Farmerton Foos episodes, Mumsy. Yes. When is the Bahamas trip?
Oh, June sometime.
You see, you're off to the Bahamas, and I'm going to Buttonlin's in Bognor Regis with Lord Ponsonbury because I get a discount because he's in a wheelchair.
Well, no.
Winding him up and down on that little lift, in
very,
and out.
very high-profile work for me to do this, so I need to relax.
The new listeners, they probably want to check out some of your fine audio soundovers, as you call them.
Yeah.
Voice.
Farmerton Foods.
Yeah. When you had a little sniff at Kerry Katona's prawn ring. Do they know about that? You were a, second husband?
Yeah.
For a week?
For a week.
Las Vegas style?
Yep.
How did
Shotgun
that work
way.
out for you? Everyone wonders where all her money went.
Yeah, I come out pretty well, I think.
You did come out. Lionel Lawyers did
Help fund this podcast. Lionel never lets me down. He gets what I demand.
You keep writing checks for the podcast, but they bounce, so I have to fund it through my menial labour that I do.
Handyman.
Anyway, Tom, let's clear the decks down.
Yeah.
Clear the scripts that you're not using anymore. It's listener Stingray. When the big man makes a house call, you better be ready. These guys got in touch to show us their pickups from Stingray's boot. You can too. How many weeks have I been saying that and I've just made a mouthful of it? Anyway, you can too. Just hashtag Stingray's boot on Instagram or Twitter, or email us if you're too young to have social media, and we'll read them out from the as we sometimes do. Anyway, questions at unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com is the email. Tom, who's first up in the boot of justice?
It is OG Gamer.
What have they got?
550. He's got Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon on the PS2. And he's also got Celebrity Deathmatch on the PlayStation 2. I didn't even know they made a great. He says another great PS2 find. I didn't know they made a game of that.
Any PS2 stuff's going to get popped from me. I love collecting for that console. It's
So-
also got smattering of 360 stuff there.
Yeah. Sega
360 was home to some big hitters, wasn't it?
It was. Sega Junkie got himself WWF Raw on the Mega Drive.
He's also got the alternate box one as well.
Yeah, I've not seen that before.
Nice work, Sega Junkie.
Super Retro Gaming got a very... God, that looks a pristine copy of Super Tennis, doesn't it?
Look at the sharpness of those edges. Look at the
Yeah,
presentation.
they've not been gnawed
that
on by a
manual.
dog or anything, are they?
No, cousin hasn't sat on that box and punched it wide open.
Yeah.
Talking of self-promotion, Unofficial Controller Podcast has got a picture of the immortalised Harvey Retro. Why is it Danny Plays in here? I obviously did put hashtag Stingrays boot on the Danny Plays picture.
What's she got?
Well, the Game Raider picture that was done by Adam the artist earlier.
Oh, right. So it'll maybe make it next week. We'll make sure that goes
Harvey
in.
Retro, Unglorious Bastard's Puppet Master, him being the horror fan.
Yeah.
He's captured him so well there. And look at the strings there. It's a beautiful piece of artwork. If you want to follow along at home, just
I notice he's raising the eyebrow as well.
I know. Go on Instagram, go and search, do hashtag Stingrays boot, click recent and roll through, and you'll see it. Sega Junkie with another load of... There's the man himself, Harvey Retro, holding a copy of Candyman.
Say his name. Is it 3 times?
Well, I wonder if he's in this week. Look at you. Who? What, Candyman? Who's the guy we say 3 times every episode?
Oh, he might be.
What an absolute plonker. Oh, dear.
Comic pictures up next with a cyclist portrait.
Eddie Merckx, the legend. Awesome.
That's nice, that is.
Awesome picture, that.
Welsh Game Hunter. Got Mario and Yoshi.
Welsh Game Hunter obviously listens, because to get round your multiple readout, he's done a slideshow for us. He's got Dungeons and Dragons, the DVD. Yes, so he's got Rogue One.
People are wise, aren't they now?
Very wise.
Learning
Well
all
done.
the tricks.
Well done. Dungeons and Dragons, yes. Fantastic work, Welsh Game Hunter.
Rogue One, a great Star Wars film. That.
Hail Tiamat, says Crabbit Steve. Crabbit Steve, I hope you're listening. You just heard your name popped out. Who's the live likes this week, by the way? Seeing as you made that feature. Or is it Love,
next
Love,
up
Leave and Lair?
we've got Rad Bash Gaming.
Oh, Mad Max, Love, Leave or Lair. Is it too soon?
Oh, too soon. Way too soon.
Buy me time.
Yep. Rad Bash Gaming up next.
The immortal
the
Rad
man,
Bash Gaming.
The myth, the legend.
The man, the myth, the legend. The actual trifecta of the Unglorious Bastards. He is the chemical weapons expert.
He is.
We all love him in the group. You love him. I love him. He's one of the pivotal members. We couldn't even have a show, I don't think, without the...
Been here since the OG days.
Been here since the OG days, yes. Sometimes he even lets Tom's neck muscles have a break and he holds his bouffant for him.
He does.
We've
just given him a life like Agent J from the Men in Black.
Everyone get in there and like Rad Bash's Pump. I even forgot their name there. Pumpo Funk. Of Agent J. Everyone give that a like.
Well, Odders has let go of the wheel because he's up next. Odders UK's got Splatterhouse 2.
Odders is gripping the wheel.
That guy looks like Casey Jones on the box art.
Oh yeah, I
But
think
more aggressive Casey Jones.
I think that Odders has took both hands off the wheel. Don't do this at home, listeners. Odders is a trained stunt driver, and he's driving with his knees while he's supping on. What's he supping on, Tom? What does Odders drink at the wheel?
He's like me. He likes a glass of whiskey, but he doesn't go for Suntory.
He's driving.
Yeah, it's fine. One and drive. It's fine. It's just a short with a bit of ice. Water it down
while he's driving.
Yeah,
that's illegal.
He's a bit of a fan of.
That's illegal.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
He likes to relax and drive while he listens to the podcast.
Oh, how's the Mondeo working out from you? Have you had an update on that? He's upgraded to the Mondeo.
Yeah.
Gear X from memory.
I think he's doing all right.
What accessory has he bought for it?
A Mad Max nitrous system. Just in case the whiskey's taking a bit too much of a toll on him, he has to get to work a bit quicker.
Maybe you can use that to outrun Chronicles of a Gamer. The Highwayman.
Yeah. Bobby's on his tail, going to just play a game of chicken with him. We'll see who wins next week.
Interesting.
Rad Bash Gaming, I know we said we don't do multiple readouts, but I'm going to have to mark up your very lovely Lost Boys poster.
That's fantastic.
Classic. Is that 80s or 90s? Must be an 80s film.
Ooh.
I'm really curious to know whether that's verging on 1990.
I wonder if it is 1990. Anyway, everyone get on. Give Rad Bash Gaming the like and a half. Another immortal fan of the show, Ozcat.tv.
Yeah.
What's he got? He's been to the arcade. He's
That's
won
cool,
enough tickets
isn't
to
it?
buy something, and it wasn't
Yeah.
Tootsie Rolls or Vampire Teeth. He's got a Pac-Man ball,
Nice.
soccer ball.
Mega Retro Geek. They've got a right haul there of 360 games and PS4, PS3. We've got Left 4 Dead, Gears of War Judgment, Duke Nukem Forever, a few DS games. Sonic Rush, I think that is. That was quite good.
He's got that Telltale Batman there.
Yeah.
You ever played that? You being a big Batman fan?
No, I haven't. I just don't like their games. Not really a fan.
18
tried them as
Platinums.
well.
You played Game of Thrones, Walking Dead.
Press Start
Back to the
Gaming
Future.
is next with some Xbox originals for Tony Hawk, Pro Skater 4 and Underground 2, Pokemon Snap on the N64, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. And
Did you have that? You didn't have that?
No, my brother had that because it had the Game Boy Advance link cable. You could do some stuff with that, I think.
That's very cool.
Mario Golf, I had that on the Game Boy Color. It's really, I quite like that. It's
Bite
good.
My Pixel.
Yeah, looks like he's got some parts. I may have treated myself to a Game Boy Color all the way from Japan. My first go at importing direct, and to be honest, I'm not sure I'll bother again.
Oh,
Yeah.
put me off was the customs and post office charges.
Look who's next.
Oh, yes. It ain't a boot without him.
Sharaban. Sharaban.
Here he is,
He's here.
emerging from the ground.
Gradius collection.
I better like his picture before it slices my
Yeah.
throat. Well, he's posted that from space again.
He has.
He gets about, doesn't he, the Voodoo Warrior?
Sega Junkie's got NBA Action 95. We'll just quickly mention we're gonna have a feature coming up, and a little bit of
Alpha Protocol.
No, that's one's for you. You can write that in your private time. So we're going to do a British person's perspective because we have quite a few American listeners
We do.
from the good old USA.
Our cousins from sunny America.
I think we might have a few from South America as well. We are going to take a British person's look at American sports franchises. Or franchises? Not franchises, but American sports. Baseball.
Are you alright?
I'm okay. Baseball, NBA. You're definitely going to be keen to do the baseball. American football, ice hockey. And if you can class it as sport, WWF wrestling.
So I'm writing everything in that apart from the wrestling. You'll
Definitely.
I can see it now. I'll have pages and pages of in-depth facts about an English person's perspective on American sports, and
Sports Sims. We're talking
Sports
about
Sims.
the games, yeah.
And your bit will be no mercy. It won't just be that, will it? It'll be like wandering down from the Titantron like the mastodon of all WWE wrestling games. Blah 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 blah. The law. Slap on a McBain strainer. No mercy. Who's taking us to the bridge, George? Oh, I don't know. It's Dougie McBain. He likes no mercy. The future. What is the best wrestling game of all time?
We will get to that. I don't want to spoil it. The wrestling one might be separate.
This
Because
is
it's
one.
big
This is
enough
one
for
of
its
the
big enough
arguments
show.
I used to win retro versus modern.
It
Do you,
is.
do you remember? He doesn't want to remember. Rad Bash Gaming again. There he is. Far
I think-
Cry
I think
PS4.
skipping multiple readouts,
Oh,
we're down to Daddy Zilla. Daddy Zilla 80s cooking up a retro storm, but we can't see the degrees because he's got Pac-Man.
no, Retro Collector Ray. He's got Castlevania on the NES.
Oh, he has. Sorry
Yes.
for skipping that one out.
Oh, say sorry now.
I'm sorry now. He's Daddy Zilla. He's got WWF Warzone on the PlayStation.
Where is Daddy Zilla?
We haven't seen
Do we
him.
need to
We
send
hope
out an
you well.
APB, an All Points Bulletin, to find out where he is? Where is he now? I'm concerned for his well-being.
I'm sure he's doing okay. I hope the family's well and you're listening in. Just drop us a line if you're okay.
We love you, Daddy Zilla.
Uh,
We love you, Devin Zilla, Mummy Zilla, and Karen.
retro Visions, more old, very
Wait.
old games.
Slow down. You need to give Daddy Zilla his
He's
time.
had his turn.
No.
He's had his turn.
He's got Danger Mouse. He's got what you would argue is the best wrestling game of all time.
Oh, would I?
WWF Warzone on the PS1. Activision's pile of tat. Retrovisions. It's not a Nick Comb. It's Tiger Vision Matterhorn cartridge for some old Atari.
More promo next. We've got Chronicles of a Gamer, Farmerton Motorway Patrol.
That's
Good
a
old
good
Bobby.
picture, Adam the artist has really been smashing it out the park recently. He's been absolutely fantastic.
The Bar Brew Games is next. He's got
hang on, you need his thing. Oh, Bar Brew Games, you know how to tickle my fancy, don't you? The longest, most serviest, most loyalist fan of the show. He's got a UMD, PSP, Valkyrie profile.
And he's got the Yakuza remastered collection.
Yes, look at it, resplendent in all of its burgundy glory.
I'm more keen at that Wii U game. He's got Epic Mickey 2.
Oh, I don't know, you're just so lowbrow.
And that's the turn of the wheel.
It is, because there's Daddy's 138 degrees. That's how you melt an Xbox One game down. That's how you do it. Tom, that is all the dips in the boot.
It is.
For our listeners, don't forget to hashtag Stingrays Boot or email us for your pickups to be read out. Now, because of Farmerton News, you've kind of took the wind out of the sails of what Ray's been up to this week. Oh, yes, he says.
If the fans do not like the Farmerton News Gazette, it will no longer be read out. Please let us know. Do they not? Okay,
No.
It's done. It's burnt. It's buried.
Oh, God, you've done it that quick. I was only mucking about.
Eye roll, throat chop, tombstone power driver, pin.
Tongue out. Is it that era?
It is that era. One knee in the middle of the ring, someone in darkness power.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, bar coronavirus-related antics with his son Wayne, what is the immortal? Fresh off of that GameCube lifting handle that he came up with last week, selling them down at Market Town. What's the mighty, the epicenter of all village lore? What's the mighty Stingray been doing?
He's been trying to knock out a few signed copies of Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks from my lockup I've got down in the village.
Now, that game charted, so presumably you took Ponce's spare change and you went and bought nearly every copy?
I did try and get
I
sales
see sometimes in
the
listeners
charts.
Stingray that a couple of copies of that game made it into the wild. They must be very rare games now.
They are.
So what you've also done, bizarrely, is by walling all those off, putting them in that warehouse that you've got, that lockup.
Yeah.
It's quite a big lockup as well.
It is.
You've actually increased the price on the resale market of Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. There's only like 3 or 4 copies out there.
There is, yeah. So
that one that you gave to Mumsy, and she took it down the charity shop.
Mother's Day present.
Yeah. You must love her.
I do. I do.
What format did you get it? Because obviously it came out on PS2 and Xbox original.
Xbox original, of course.
Yeah.
The better quality.
Even though she had a PS2.
Well, I didn't know that at the time. I was living the high life on a player got to play.
What player got to play? It's either that or Beatles Rock Band. I don't know which.
Yeah, that's not a mumsy present, that one.
No, well,
more for the
loyal listeners.
It's more for the ladies.
It is one for the ladies. The loyal listeners will know to bring the antibacterial wipes, not because of coronavirus, but because Tom used to woo the ladies by bringing them back and making them play Beatles Rock Band.
I did.
For hours on end.
Hours on end.
So that's what Wayne's been doing. Is Sting's been doing
knocking
that.
out a few signed copies by me of Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks.
If any listeners want to send us their copy of Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks for Tom to sign,
feel free.
Feel free, yeah. Get in touch with us. Send us a DM. We'll make it happen. Are you gonna sign that? Do you want any little drawings on the front?
Yeah.
I tell you one thing.
Kano on the front or Liu Kang.
Mr. Mystery's going to end up with one of your little...
Goro.
We're going to sign a bit of script for him.
Yeah.
He's a very lucky boy, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
Anyway, Tom, I hear at the bottom of the drive a screech. It's time for a peek at what we affectionately call Stingray's Boot. What's less of between some counterfeit nappies and a dodgy copy of Battlefront all this week. So these are the new release highlights for this week, 2nd of March to March 8th, 2020. Listeners, these are out on digital or physical, or will be by the time this podcast is in your feed, but could be region dependent. There's one for the listeners here, Tom. He's stopped, popped, and he's got a backy cigarette roll. Popped, dropped, and roll. Ready whop and wall.
Yeah.
He's stood menacingly at the back.
He's
of
getting
the
impatient, and he with that
Bluebird.
nonsense.
And he...
It's a slim-looking boot this week, isn't it?
Well, for content's sake, you'd better pick out a couple of VHSs,
Yeah.
and you better shout out what your mummy is as well.
Oh, mate.
1, 2, 3, or 4.
2.
Okay, I'm going to go with 1. This is my mummy. I'll lead in. 4th Generation Warfare on the PC for all the loyal PC listeners. Out March 5th. 4th Generation Warfare simulates warfare in the 21st century, which, in addition to the direct opposition of military forces, now includes espionage, international politics, cyber warfare, media manipulation, and trade wars.
My pick up next, Murder by Numbers on the Switch March 5th and PC March 6th. Switch 1 day exclusive.
You know, if you're a big fan of Murder by Numbers, you better trot off and get yourself a Switch so you can get this 24-hour exclusive. Tom, what is this?
Solve pixel puzzles to find clues. Use those clues to interrogate witnesses. Work your way to the truth and uncover the mystery of Murder by Number. Yeah, intriguing.
Up next, Wonderling. PC Switch March 5th. In Wonderling, you're not a hero, but a low-level video game goon who's just unlocked the power to jump. Chase down the hero across beautiful scrolling levels and show him who's the real
I wish I'd have gone for that now.
boss.
Never mind. A lot of Switch games, it's almost like it's definitely the Wii, isn't it? Becoming the Wii.
I was going to get to this.
Games out
I was
every
going to
week.
say this. As me and young James Work Experience Boy
Oh, yes.
were
Yeah.
putting...
Yes.
yes.
He has a Switch.
As we were putting the script together, while you were... I don't know what you were doing. Something with your booth on. Maybe you're doing a sound over for Farmerton Foods. Fiddling with that prawn ring. Never go back. That's
It's
all I'll
for
say.
first gear.
Oh, you've been on voiceover for soundover. Sorry.
Soundovers for
Let me
first gear.
correct. In the industry, we call them soundovers.
Harkson and Clammond weren't there, but me and Tresemme were knocking it out of the park.
Tresemme.
Tresemme, yeah.
Wow.
Harkson, Clammond and Tresemme.
You were just... Are you like the... What do you do? Do you do the links or...
Yeah, I do like the trailer work. So when they promo with the up and coming show, I do all the promo soundovers for that.
Oh, got any adverts in the wings?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
What you got coming? Why don't you...
Spark plug advert
Ooh, for
NGK.
American. Oh, American advert or something.
No, it's debuting in Poland. So
Do you speak Polish?
no, but that's what the translator's for.
So you do a sound over, as you call it, and then a guy with a Polish accent
Does it again?
does it again.
They don't mention his name. If they put my name on it, they know the spark plugs will sell well. Because of my work on First Gear, they think I'm a bit of a petrol head.
Right.
But around the village, I'm known as more of a meth head, to be honest.
I don't think that's appropriate.
We better move on. Next up, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. We go from meth to Pokemon. Easy as that. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX, available on the Switch March 6th.
Oh, wow.
Become a Pokemon and build your rescue team from the likes of Pikachu, Eevee and Charmander to save the world through the ever-changing Mystery Dungeons. Get ready to explore a beautiful reimagined world in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Rescue Team DX for Nintendo Switch, a remake of the original Nintendo DS and Game Boy Advance game. Slim pickings in the boot.
Now, what's your VHS pick out of the boot this
Mate,
week?
you put me on the spot.
Oh, I'm sorry. How can I put you on the spot when every week we have a VHS pick? Your idea, not mine. Last week you plumbed the barrel and you got the gold copy of episode 1 out. I've got that, by the way.
Have you?
Yeah, I've got it.
I always try and think of old VHSs that we used to get as kids.
I don't know if you've had it. I don't know if you've had it out the boot.
Karate Kid Part 2 is my choice.
Oh, I thought you were going to reach for that copy of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Oh, we've done that, surely.
Have we?
It's been rented more times than then.
Do you know what I
Pig.
used to find quite funny? Because obviously I grew up with Star Wars,
Yeah,
and I'm a slightly bigger boy than you.
yeah,
And when when Robin Hood Prince of Thieves came out,
yeah.
his den was quite blatantly just the Ewok village.
Oh, and the Kenner toy line. Yeah.
They hadn't even bothered to change a single thing.
I bet. Oh, mate. I bet there's copies out there where in the box you open up the box and you're like, where's Kevin Costner and bloody Morgan Freeman? And you've got like Wicket and some other Ewok in there. I don't think the factory put these out right.
That was very naughty, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm sure that's happened with a lot of things. What is it with those action figures from that era as well? Everyone's on like the roids, like pumped.
He looks bumped in that toy range as well, doesn't he?
Oh, right, in the toy range, yeah. I thought you meant the film.
No, he's
It's
not.
like Costner's more of like an every hero, isn't he? He just looks like a normal guy.
Oh, I don't know. He's a dashing, handsome man.
Oh, yeah, he's handsome, isn't he? But he's like...
Look at two men. Yeah, he's a very handsome man.
Yeah, but he's not like a roid monster like Schwarzenegger or Stallone.
So what's my pick?
What are you going for?
Put me on the spot now. I'm going to go with, inspired by Harvey Retro. He posted up a picture of The Rocketeer, and I told him, great film, good film. And when I was growing up, I liked Rocketeer. I also liked the remake or the reimagining of Biggles, An Adventure in Time. Great movie. And it's got a great opening song as well. So
Is that a Disney film?
It's a bit too hard edge for Disney. I wouldn't like to say.
I didn't know whether... Because Rocketeer is, isn't it?
It might be actually, yeah. But I tell you, Rocketeer is awesome.
Yeah.
Biggles is a little bit lighter on budget, but still great. It's
Are we
fun.
talking Battlefriend or / Star Wars Any Hope difference of budget or...
Compared to Rocketeer... Yeah,
by the way...
I watched it not so long ago and some of the scenes were a bit ropey-dope, but, you know, it's forgivable.
We have some big-time, like, developer listeners. So, DICE, if you're listening, give me some Battlefriend or DLC for Battlefront 2. That would make my year. It'd be so good.
Don't bother cranking that out until our other big-time developer listeners have cranked me out Waterworld by Christmas.
Okay.
If that gets
Whichever
announced,
one happens before Christmas wins a prize.
out of me and you.
Yeah.
The other one buys the other one a copy of said thing.
Yeah.
So I get you the DLC or you get me the game.
Deal.
Oof.
I suppose it's that time of the week. Time in the show where I ask
Thought you were
you.
going to say it was that time of the month?
Well, yeah, you know. Yeah, I better ask you what you're hoping to play this week.
No, I ask you what you're hoping to
I was
play.
being polite. I was trying to get it in first.
Oh, okay. Well, you did.
What are you going to play then?
Well, I want to double down. I want to get Mad Maxed.
Done.
I want to throat chop in middle of the ring, tongue out there, all that thing.
Yeah.
Get it done. I think it's time to get it posted up and the Man Who Finishes Game t-shirt adorning my chest. Still haven't even got myself one of those.
We should get one, shouldn't we, really?
Yes.
Naughty boys.
Well, you're not allowed one.
Am I not?
No.
Okay.
Whenever you select one, it's going to come the man who doesn't finish games.
The man who finishes some games.
Man who
I think I
finishes
just
some
said that.
games.
Yeah.
Asterisks.
Yeah.
And then a load of different exclusions on the back.
Just with percentages finished.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
acceptable. And then I was going to, because it's a bit sparse, I'm going to just keep wading through my wall of games. And I'm not quite sure what I want to try next. I want to try something a bit left field. I want to go back. I might try Resistance 2, because I've not played the Resistance trilogy.
I wish you'd finish Mass Effect 2. Or just finish the trilogy.
It's kind of like it's become a bone of contention between us now. I like the tension that it brings.
The debate.
The debate. Yeah.
Okay.
To be honest, maybe I should wade into that. I want something a bit more action. Not that Mad Max isn't actiony, but I just want something a bit more sort of disengaged.
Okay.
Something a bit fast and loose. I want after Mad
Are you
Max.
going to be picking up anything new over the next month? like new release wise? Is there anything on the horizon that piques your interest?
Not really.
Have you played the Doom reboot?
No.
Shame, it's good.
I'm the retro guy. I'm the guy who provides catalogues of information and then plays the odd new title. You're the cutting edge guy.
Okay.
You're the industry insider dude.
That means more budget from the show goes on new games for me.
That's right.
Can't ask for any more.
Well, I'm speaking to the publisher of our artwork and media, and they're gonna increase your name by one more font size.
Fair play.
What are you going to be playing?
Again, like you, some more Mad Max.
Are you going to stick with it?
Yeah, I think so.
Can you see yourself seeing that through?
It depends if I can get it done before Doom comes out.
When's Doom out?
20th. Couple of weeks.
Yeah, you should be able
Yeah.
to. Don't dilly dally in reducing threat areas unless you have to.
I have made a decision when the 2 bigger titles coming out that I really want, or maybe 3. Final Fantasy VII, Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima. I'm going to ban the online playing. No, honestly, because otherwise...
For the audio podcast, I'm doing the Pinocchio nose.
No, otherwise it takes up a lot of time, and I do enjoy it. I
what about when you're sort of hokey cokey mates like, oh, I've got to get on Overwatch, mate. Oh, I've got to go. Oh, please let me play a little bit of Overwatch. Every time I look what you're playing, oh, Overwatch. Oh, George, I love a bit of Overwatch.
I do. It's hard not to play online shooters sometimes because they'll just pick them up, have a couple of games and done. It's good fun.
Overwatch is not fun.
Oh, it is.
Die, back to the start. Die, back to the start. Die, back to the start.
Much, so it's...
Clumsily hammer around on the shoulder buttons. Wall, shotgun. What is it? I'm not killing people. What am I doing? I'm healing them. Why? What's going on? Heal guy. Heal guy. What? Shoot, death, kill, back to the start. That's that game summed up. That's its gameplay loop. Tell me I'm wrong. Well, no, prove me I'm wrong.
I don't know why I like it so much. Just really clicked with me. Anyway, I've talked about it.
Do you know why I think you like it so much?
Why?
Because even though it's lacking anything of fibre, it's got a lot of lore.
Well, you said it. I think you're right.
What about Battlefield 2?
Battlefront 2. Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Why don't for me?
Yeah.
Because we're in this lull in the window of games.
Yeah.
Why don't you play the story mode and tell me where?
No. I don't want.
It's 8 hours.
That's not what I bought it for. I ain't got those 8 hours. I'd rather put those 8 hours into Mad Max.
I really want to know if I should pick it up for the story.
No, pick it up so you can play online with me.
No, I'm not playing online.
It's just a bit of fun.
It's not.
It is.
It's a savage waste of my time.
It's not. Please.
There's nothing in there rewarding for me. There's no story. There's no character development. Randomly Luke Skywalker appears, or is it Darth Maul? Who even knows or cares?
When you're running with all your teammates, all the stormtroopers running into battle, and it's all kicking off,
that
it's
bit
so good.
You know that bit that you talk about that's really, really good?
Yeah.
There's a game that came out that had that in, and it was like, Knights Together!
Oh, not this
The
again.
Order. Okay? A game that you would...
You do realise if the rumours are true and Order gets a sequel for PS5, I'm going to be telling you, it's the best game ever made, mate. I've played it.
I was there day one. Galahad right from the
yeah.
get-go. Yeah, I love it.
That'll be me.
Got the collector's edition with a little file.
But anyway, that's probably me for what I'm going to be playing this week. Nothing else I can think of. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's time to throat chop the show. That's all we have time for this week, listeners. As always, thank you for your time. Look forward to the pleasure of speaking to you again next week. Until then, happy gaming. Remember, there's nothing wrong with being given the unofficial controller. It's what you do with it that counts. See you, Tom.
See you, mate.